Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. So I'm doing a series of videos where I hope to help some of the newer players in the community understand some of the game mechanics a little bit better and hopefully help them progress in their tower journey. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan, and for those of you who are more further along in your tower progression, of course, if you have any added comments of things that I might have missed, please feel free to post them in the comments or something. Okay, so what better way to start off this series by first talking about why economy is so important in this game. And so to motivate this, there are a lot of farming guides out there. There are also a lot of different farming strategies out there, and there's also a lot of different spreadsheets out there. And so if you're a new player to this game, it's going to be a huge influx of information that you would suddenly be very interested in, that all explain particular strategies and so on. But then you don't really understand how or why you should go about upgrading your tower. And that is because, well, it's a lot of information. So my hope for this particular video is to try to distill down some of the major concepts that are important, and also provide some of my experience in how I had progressed in my tower journey, and what are the various challenges that I faced at various stages of the game. So this video is just there to serve as a practical guide on understanding why economy is important at each stage of the game for every player, and also it's there to complement some of the other guides out there on different coin farming strategies, and so hopefully that would help you guys understand a little bit better about why we do certain things in particular strategies, and potentially that might open up avenues for you to test out different strategies of your own and find one that works best for you. A couple of things to note. I personally do not use any spreadsheets. I just play the game the way I like it. However, I've played the game for quite a long time, and so what I'm going to be sharing is just stuff that I think are factors of consideration for me when I am thinking about how to upgrade my tower, or in case some other players ask me how they should go about upgrading their tower. This is the thought process that I'm thinking of. So the main thing to note is that this is a game of constraint optimization. Each of us, we have 24 hours in a day. During that 24 hours, we want to basically get as much resources in this game as possible. But at the end of the day, it's just a game, right? So we should all play the game in the way that we like. So if you disagree with anything that I'm about to say, or you're about to see, please just play the game the way you like it. At the end of the day, that's what's most important for every player. And then also another major caveat is that in every video that I upload, I think there is at least one factual inaccuracy. So if anyone in the audience is able to correct any of it, please just drop it in the comments. Okay, so the main question is why we should focus on economy. And for this question, it really depends on which stage of progression in the game we are at. If we are in the early game, and by early game, I would say it's going to be where we have not unlocked our economy weapons, our ultimate weapons, being Golden Tower, Black Hole, Deathwave, and Spotlight. Now, if you find yourself as an early game player, the main focus of where your coin that you farm is going to go into is going to be in your labs and in your workshops. Now, if you are a mid-game player, and by mid-game player, I think in today's context for version 26, is anyone who is pre-Golden Tower Plus, then in that case, you should focus on economy because of your labs as well. Some of them are quite pricey. You should focus on your workshops, trying to get everything as high as possible. And also you have to start focusing and thinking about how you can go about enhancing your tower. Now also, there is nothing much to focus on at the mid game. There's a lot of unlocking of ultimate weapons and so on, which I had talked about in an earlier video. And so progress is generally very slow in this stage of the game. So, given that it's a game of constraint optimization, given that we are constrained by how fast we can progress in the game, we might as well make the most of our time while playing the game and focus on generating a good enough economy for our tower. Now, you might also find yourself as a late game player. So I think I would consider myself in this stage of the game, probably in the middle part of the late game. And so what happens in this stage is you would find yourself having decent investment in your Golden Tower Plus. And at this stage, the primary concern for where you should be spending your resources would be on your labs, which include mostly your card masteries and also your enhancements. Now, I'm not there yet, but I guess at the end game, we can consider an end game player as someone who is past tier 18 wave 4500. At this stage, given the way I'm looking at how my tower is in today's context, I think there's nothing much else to do besides coin farm. So, at this stage, everything is going to be relatively expensive in terms of your enhancements, and practically that's the only place that is going to soak up all your coin. But as I'm not there yet, I'm not going to comment on this aspect of the game. So the main question is how much economy is enough? And this comes from me receiving quite a lot of questions that go along the lines of, oh, I have unlocked my Death Wave, I've unlocked my Golden Tower, I've unlocked my Spotlight and so on. So what should I focus on next? Okay, rather than thinking about how to go about, prompting the question, here is what I would like for everyone to ask themselves. So if you are in the early game, then there's no two ways about it. You will never have enough economy. If you think that you have enough economy, you don't. And the reason for that is because in your workshops, the health regen and damage workshops, they have like 6,000 levels to them, and those 3 workshops alone, they are going to carry you very, very far in this game. So if you find that you have a lot of spare coin, then dump that coin into your health regen, damage, into your labs, and you'll find yourself broke again. But that is the nature of the game. We enter a run, we farm some coin, our tower dies, we make it a little bit stronger so that we can progress a little bit further in the next run, and we rinse and repeat. Now, if you are a mid-game player, then the questions that you should be asking yourself is, well, number 1, am I able to max out all my important workshops at the end of a tournament run? So suppose I reach the end of my tournament and I realize that, well, I have not maxed out my damage yet. Then what this should tell you as a from the run is that, well, you should dump more coin into damage so that hopefully by the end of the tournament or the next tournament that you participate in, you will be able to max out your damage. And damage is still important because at the end of the day, we need to kill the enemies that approach our tower. The next question you should also ask yourself is, well, am I able to afford all my important laps? There will be some time in the mid game where you would be quite tight for coin. That is normal. And as long as you are able to generate enough coin to afford those laps, then that's a good sign that your economy at that stage of progression is at a desired level. Now, the third question is, well, am I making good progress with my enhancements? So enhancements, each level, they provide a minimal amount of benefit, but of course if we stack on them, then it's going to compound, and that overall benefit that it provides is going to be quite significant. So if you find that you are having a lot of leftover coin, you could consider dabbling with your enhancements and making your tower just that bit stronger so that you can progress slightly further. And finally, if you are in the late game, then some of the important questions that you can ask yourself is, well, number one, am I able to sustain 5 card mastery researches? And also, am I making good progress with my enhancements? If the answer to either of those questions is no, then probably it's a good sign that you should be working on your economy. Alright, so now the next question that we should ask ourselves is, well, how should we then focus on our economy? And so let's first decide or discuss the lab aspect of economy. So in this game, when we talk about economy, it's not just about coins, but there's also other things like our cells, our reroll shards, and so on. But of course, the primary focus is still going to be our coin economy. Now, if you are an early or mid-game player, then there are going to be a lot of different labs that you can lab in, and oftentimes you might find yourself that, well, given that there are so many labs available for me, what is the best labs that I should be applying into my labs? So I've separated it into the most important labs and labs that are, well, slightly less important but still important overall for your economy. And you might see the first lab over here being lab speed. And I think that lab speed is really important because it just allows for all your other research to be completed a lot quicker. So do consider labbing in your lab speed. Some people would say go permanent on your lab speed. At some point when you get it to about level 70, level 80, you might find that the lab speed time taken for each level is going to be relatively long. In that case, if you feel like you want to slot out that lab and put something else inside, then remember the most important rule. It's just a game. Go ahead and do that. But otherwise, lab speed is actually a very powerful lab research to do. On top of that, we have stuff like our black hole coin, our golden tower bonus, golden tower duration, standard perk bonus, and our trade-off perks that all offer additional bonuses to us, and we should try to get those labs maxed out as quickly as possible. Now, not to say that these other labs are not important, they just, I guess, give lower value than the more important ones, but we can also generate additional coin by, let's say, doing coins per kill, which gives us 2.98 times more coins. We can do Death Wave coin, which gives us 2.5 times. Spotlight coin. We can also work on our golden bot for its cooldown and its duration. And of course, if you are in the late game, when you start dabbling with masteries, then coin mastery is going to be a good one. We also have crit coin mastery, which I heard is not very good, but I personally don't have it. And there is also extra op mastery, which gives a coin bonus when we use our ops to hit the enemy. the main point that I would like to emphasize at this stage is that if you are a late game player, then this guide is, it's probably not relevant to you. So you should be able to judge what you need most by the time you get to this stage of the game. Okay, so that is for coin economy. Now, looking at our other economy, we can first consider our cell economy. And if you are an early or mid-game player, the DevWave Cell lab is going to be a good one to complete. And the reason why cell economy is important is because it allows our labs to be run at a quicker rate. So the quicker that we can get rid of all of these economy labs, then we can start focusing on other stuff that we like. Like if we wanted an EHP build, we can focus on building our EHP, or if we wanted to go for more damage, we can focus on our damage labs after. If you are a late game player, then one way that you can generate more cells is by going for enemy balance mastery. That's going to give you more elites, and if we kill elites, we get more cells, so that's going to boost our cell economy. In terms of our other economy, we can look at our shards and modules. And so looking at the labs over here, common drop chance gives us a chance to get common modules, which we can then shatter, which gives us our upgrade shards for our modules. We can also work on our shatter shards lab, which allows us to gain more from shattering our shards. And we can also work on our rare drop chance in order to get rare modules, which we can either use to boost our modules up towards Ancestral, or we can just sell them. Sorry, not sell them, shatter them. Now, in terms of our shards, for the shard economy, daily mission shards and reroll shards, we should also work on those labs. At the end of the day, the shards are going to give us upgrades to our modules, and so they are going to allow us to progress further later on in the game. Now, if you are a late game player, then stuff like recovery package, chance mastery, and cache mastery will also give you more of such economy. Right. Finally, I guess we can get to the main message of this video, and it's how to focus on coin economy. And this particular section, I think, is just dedicated for the newer players. So in a lot of the guides, we are talking about, well, you should get your ultimate weapons to go off at the same time and everything. And the reason for that is, well, it's this main message over here, right? When we kill our enemies is more important than whether we kill the enemy or not. Why is that important to know? Well, in this game, the way these coin multipliers work, they multiply with one another. So, for instance, if we have a look at my golden tower over here, it says that my current bonus is 30.9 times. So if an enemy dies, I get its base coin times 30.9 times. But if the enemy is also killed in my black hole, because I have the black hole coin lab, it's going to generate an additional 11 times. So I've got 30 times 11, which is 330 times multiplier of the base enemy coin. In addition, we stack on the death wave. The death wave gives me another 2.5 times. I can't do that much math, but you get the idea. The bonuses, because they are multiplicative with one another, stack up very quickly. So ideally, we want to kill our enemies when they have the benefit of all our ultimate weapon buffs on them. And this is the main message that we have to understand for this. So as long as we get as many coin bonuses as possible when we kill an enemy, then that is going to generate us the maximum amount of coin as possible. And so it means that for us, the ultimate weapon synergy that we generate is more important than actually having the right ultimate weapon. If we have all the right ultimate weapons but they don't work in tandem with one another, it's probably not going to generate us as good a result as if we were to optimize in that direction and get them to work harmoniously with one another. So just to highlight 3 important strategies in thinking about how you should progress your tower. If you're an early to mid game player, you don't have Golden Tower Plus activated yet. In that case, what you want to do is you want to set your Golden Tower duration to be equal to your Black Hole duration plus 12 seconds. And the reason why we want it to be plus 12 seconds is because of this perk. Do I not have it yet? Oh, there we go. Black Hole duration plus 12 seconds. So when we take this perk in the run, it's going to give our Black Hole an extra 12 seconds. So I typically tell people to get your Black Hole to 32 seconds, which means that you should get your your Golden Tower duration to be 44 seconds. So that 32 seconds plus 12 seconds gives you 44 seconds in total. What that implies for your tower is that when your ultimate weapons activate, you run into a situation whereby Golden Tower and Black Hole, they ideally activate at the same time, and the duration of both ultimate weapons are for the entirety of that activation. What we don't want to do is, let's say, have our Golden Tower to be way longer than our Black Hole. Okay, and in that case, suppose I had a 40-second Golden Tower but only a 20-second Black Hole. Then for 20 of the 40 seconds, I'm going to generate 30 times 11 times of coin bonus, and then my Black Hole falls and I'm left with 30 times bonus. So it becomes a fall in my coin by about 300 times for the multipliers that I can put on enemies. So ideally, we would, number 1, want to sync our Golden Tower and Black Hole durations to be 12 seconds apart. Number 2, we also want to sync our ultimate weapons for Golden Tower, Death Wave, and Black Hole. So Golden Tower, Black Hole, and Death Wave, they all have their coin multipliers, and we want them to stack, or we want them to be synced so that when they activate together at the same time, and so every enemy that is on our screen at that time is going to benefit from all 3 multipliers. The next priority that we want to work on is this thing called the Golden Bot. As you can see, this yellow circle that's up on my screen, this comes from the events. So under the event shop, we can get our Golden Bot, okay? And the Golden Bot provides another 6 times multiplier. So we again want our bot to be synced to go off together with all our ultimate weapon activations, and that adds an added layer of coin bonus for us. Now, of course, there is stuff like the Spotlight coin bonus, which I have refrained from putting in over here, because basically Spotlight is just going to rotate around your tower, and there's really nothing much that you can do about it. At some point, when we have maxed out everything in this game, we should ideally see that our Spotlight covers the entire 360 degrees around our tower. But if you are finding yourself in a situation like myself where I have gaps of no Spotlight coverage in between my Spotlight beams, then that's completely okay. It's still going to be a net loss in coin, but we have to make the best out of what we have been able to upgrade in our tower. Okay, so to sum up, this video just talks a little bit about the importance of generating economy and to give the viewer an understanding of what factors you should be considering in deciding how to go about upgrading your tower. This is a game where there are so many options available to different players, And oftentimes it might feel very prescriptive in the sense that, well, if I don't follow this particular strategy, or if I don't get this particular item, I am not going to be able to progress. What I would like to say to that is that that is not true. You are still going to be able to make progress just by focusing on building a solid foundation for your tower progress. In fact, now that I have passed the, say, like the Devil stage of play in this game, where Devil is one of those coin farming strategies, yes, it is true that you would be able to get higher coin at a lower stage of progression. However, the game is made to inflate the coins in such a way that when you reach the next stage of progression, it's very quickly where you will see that the increased coin gains from the next layer of progression is going to greatly outweigh whatever coin gains that you might have obtained in an earlier stage of progression. Now, that is not to say that any of those strategies are bad. Those strategies are still good, but ultimately the main questions that you should be asking yourself is what I highlighted earlier. Whether the questions that you have asked yourself, are you able to sustain the economy requirements at different stages of progression? If the answer is yes, and you are not, say, following the most optimal coin farming strategy, it is not going to be a huge detriment to your tower. But if you find yourself, you have upgraded all your labs and everything, and you are still unable to sustain, say, affording particular labs, then yes, it might be good to then consider what kind of strategy you would like to go for, and hopefully that gives you a bump up in your income. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of a better understanding of how to go about progressing in this game. If you did, do consider liking and subscribing the video. It would greatly help out the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.